Okay, so this will be the second video for the notes on limiting reactants. So the second example problem. So in a reaction, we've got 50 grams of manganese 4 oxide reacting with 25 grams of aluminum in a single replacement reaction. We want to identify the limiting reactant and calculate the mass of manganese metal produced. So first step would be to write out the equation. So we have manganese 4 oxide. Now the 4, of course, refers to the charge of the manganese. Oxide is a -2, so we're going to need 2 oxygens for every manganese. So MnO2 plus aluminum in a single replacement reaction. So the aluminum replaces the manganese. We end up with aluminum oxide, Al2O3, and manganese metal. And then we've got to go through and balance it. So coefficients of 3, 4, 2, and 3. And that gives us our mole ratios. So limiting reactant first, we have to use each of the reactants to figure out which one will produce the least amount of product. We are given 50 grams of manganese 4 oxide. We're given 25 grams of aluminum. Don't just assume that because we have more mass on the manganese oxide that will be excess, that this would be limiting, because it doesn't go by mass, it goes by number of moles and then the mole ratio. So you have to calculate through to make sure. So I'm going to first work from the manganese 4 oxide. So 50.0 grams. So first cancel from grams to moles. So 1 mole, looking up atomic weights and adding them together to get the molar mass. It's 86.94 grams per mole. Then we go from moles of manganese 4 oxide, and then let's figure out how much manganese is produced, because that's what we want to know is up here is the mass of the manganese produced. So use the mole ratio. And they both have coefficients of 3, so it's a 3:3 or 1:1 ratio. And then go from moles of manganese to grams of manganese. And the atomic mass of manganese is 54.94 grams. Calculate across, and we would get 31.6 grams of manganese. Okay, now we use the other reactant. We have 25 grams of aluminum. Same process, go from grams to moles by dividing by the molar mass. Now we're going to go from moles of aluminum to moles of manganese. Looking at the balanced equation, we're going to have a 3 moles of manganese for every 4 moles of aluminum. And then we go to grams. And that gives us 38.2 grams. So the least amount of product produced right here. So we know that we're going to end up with 31.6 grams of manganese, and that's where the reaction will stop because we would have used up all the manganese 4 oxide. So the manganese 4 oxide is the limiting reactant, and then the amount of manganese produced would be 31.6 grams.